This actually got me thinking. Is that true? The majority of Lyft and Uber drivers or gig drivers in general live in their car? I would say it's probably a minor majority. I wouldn't think it's a major majority. Let's just say of 100, 20, 30%, in my opinion, may live in their car for sure. But like to say that it's like basically like to 60, 70, 80% of people who do gig work live in their car, I don't feel like that would be a real thing. Now, I could be completely gone in my mind. I don't know. I just don't see enough people because, for one, there's a lot of people who do it in the Midwest. There's a lot of people who do it in the Southwest. There's a lot of people who do it in northern part of the United States. And there's so many different weather systems out there for you to live in your car. So like when I tell you I lived in my car and I live in Phoenix, Arizona, yes, I would say there's a lot of people who wouldn't have even thought to do that because it is Phoenix, Arizona, and it does get 110 outside. So in my opinion, I would say that most everybody would not live in their car, even though there's people physically living on the street when it's 110 outside. I just don't see a lot of, I mean, yeah, they might stay overnight, but actually physically living in their car? I don't know, man. I don't know. It's hard for me to think about. But I will say this, that if you are a gig driver that is living in their car, please tell me you have an exit plan. Please don't tell me that this is just what you do. Because even when I lived in my car willingly, I didn't do it without an exit plan. There was definitely a point where I was like, yeah, I'm going to live in my car for X amount of time, and I'm going to try and transition to this and have an investment to that. Now, these things all got cut short because of the fact that I had nothing but car expenses for the next 2 years. But at the same time, I still had an exit plan. So let's just say everything was everything. And everything was great. Fantastic. Nothing had happened. And I had no car issues. I had an exit plan of what I was going to do. And I would have stuck to it. The plan would have got accomplished. I would have been able to save X amount of dollars, to pay off X amount of debt, to be able to invest into something such as a business, and to get on with my life. But since a lot of that was becoming, not going to happen because of all these car expenses and then the car completely going out, I had to switch up the plans and pivot. And that's how you do every plan. Every plan has, sometimes you got to pivot. Sometimes you got to go do something else. So please tell me, if you are a gig driver and you are living in your car, please tell me right now. Are you living in your car with no game plan on what to do next? Are you living in your car because you want to save money? Are you living in your car because of the fact that you think it's cool? You want to be a van lifer? Why are you living in your car? That's my question to you. Because I never thought of that. I never thought that someone would be living in their car willingly and just doing it for the gig life. Like, I would say that's the equivalent of walking on a blade. Because one of these days you're going to get cut. Whether it become car expenses, deactivation. I mean, you can watch the endless people on YouTube who are van lifers that got disconnected from DoorDash and a couple other apps because when this is all you got, if the company don't need you anymore, they could just cut ties. If they don't want you around, period, they could cut ties. And yes, at this moment, me doing what I'm doing, yeah, for sure. But I have a backup plan, I have game plans. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do right now. I'm making these YouTube videos. I'm pushing forward. I'm growing. And we're growing as a community together. So if you got nothing going on, it's just literally you, the car, and that gig app on your phone, Trust me, bro. You're in for a rude wake up call. Like you need. Like it makes me stutter to even think about this. Like why? It's not that bad out there, bro. And if it is where you live, then that means you need to move from where you live. Like if you live in California or New York or Florida, then yes, I will say it is that bad and you need to bounce. Florida because of the hurricanes, New York because of their entire economy of how much things are, and the governor sucks out there just like the governor sucks over there in California. So I understand, bro. I love California because I'm from there. I have a love for it. But bro, do I want to live there? No, I never want to live there in my entire life ever again. Because of the direction it is heading. The amount of money that you have to pay to even live in a mediocre spot is absolutely crazy. If you want to live close to the beach, it's even crazier. If you just want to live in California, like Central California, away from the beach, it's crazy no matter where you go in California. It's crazy. Like, why? Like, what for? Just for the beautiful weather? Like, bro, I can get, like, okay, I'm just gonna let you know this right now. When I lived in San Diego, I didn't have time to go to the beach. I didn't have time to enjoy the weather. You know, at times I could go out there and do this, but I didn't have time to do anything. Because why? Because I owed money. No matter where you look at it. I made $58,000 in 1 year. At that point, that was the highest I'd ever made. And I literally felt like I made $26,000, like because of the high rent, the high car payment, the high this, the high that. Everything is high out there. The food, the haircut, whatever you got going on, it's all high. So yes, me moving out of California and moving somewhere entirely different, like Phoenix, Arizona, really is somewhere that I feel like is good for me and my family. Now, I'm not saying everybody move here because we don't got room, bro. It's way too hot, bro. Whatever excuse that will keep you away from moving here, please don't ever come here. You can visit here, but please leave shortly after, okay? Because there's way too many people coming here because they realize this place is awesome. And I've been here since 2002. That's 22 years of living here, being here. So I ain't going nowhere. I've definitely moved away for a year up to Texas. That ain't the jam for me either. You know what I mean? For me, it ain't for me. I like the landscape and a couple of things about it, but bro, I'm good. You know what I mean? I am good. Like the only part of Texas I really liked was Austin for sure, and I guess everybody and their mom thought the same thing, because anyone who's actually super cool, like not weird, segregated, not like the weirdest thing in the world was when I lived in Houston, and that was the first time I'd ever seen any type of racial divide. And I'm not saying that they're like, oh, they look at you different because you're in their neighborhood. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the mental thought process of everyone there was always black with black, white with white, Mexican with Mexican, with few and far between people crossing over and doing anything else. Like, bro, wild, because people there in Houston especially have lived there for decades, generations, bro. Generations after generations. I met so many people who are like, they'd never even left. Like they'd visited, but they'd never actually left ever. It always had been there. And I think that's a very unfortunate thing. Like, bro, you've been there your entire life. You've never even lived anywhere else. Like not one place, not even for a few months, nothing. Gosh, that sounds crazy. I've lived in multiple places, so I could imagine if the only place I knew was one place. That would not be good. Not be good. I got to do this delivery real quick. I'll be right back. Yeah, I'll be right back. Hold on. So yes, for me, Texas wasn't the spot. I like the culture. I like things around there, but like it was just a little too segregated for me. And no one made me feel like, oh, well, you need to be dating so-and-so rather than so. No one made me feel like that. That was just the culture, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not used to that culture because I'm from California, San Diego to be exact for the most part. Yeah, there's so much mixing going on there. I'm surprised there's even anybody that's not mixed there. And same thing with Phoenix, Arizona. A bunch of people mixed with white people with black people with white people, Mexican with white, Mexican with black. I mean, there's so many different races out there. Only people that kind of stick to themselves, but I've seen them kind of stray away. They'll go catch a white dude or something. Is Hindus. So Indians, they will definitely stick to each other, like 99.9% of the time. Every now and then you'll find one just off there lingering off somewhere else. And then I know this is not a race, but the particular people are Muslim, you know? I know it's not a race. I don't want to be like uncultured. I know it's not a race. Okay, I know that. I'm just saying they stick to each other as well. But I don't want to be like, oh, well, they're Pakistani or blah, blah, blah. I don't know their actual race, so they're just gonna have to just clump together as Muslim. You know what I mean? And other than that, there's a lot of mixing going on around here. There's a bunch of mixed drinks out here, bro. For real, 100%. So, yeah. So, and also, do you guys knock on the door? Like, if it doesn't say to knock or not knock, or ring the doorbell, not ring the doorbell, but it says leave at the door, do you just leave at the door? Or do you ring the doorbell, then leave at the door? Me, if it doesn't say ring the doorbell or something, I don't do it. I'll literally just leave your stuff there. And I know some people are like, bro, you're gonna leave it off in the heat and rather than be mad at me than leave it in the heat and have them cry and complain. I'm like, okay, I mean, maybe. I mean, I guess I get that I don't want them to cry and complain about it, but also I want you to know, I want you to understand where you're at. You know what I'm saying? Like, understand where you're at. You're in Phoenix, Arizona. You ordered food, but yet didn't say, hey, could you leave it at? Could you ring the doorbell when you're here? I feel like you're a grown person, and you should know 100% your surroundings. I'm gonna have to romp this off this curb real quick though. There's so many people driving all this stuff, and no, I guess I can wait. I was gonna just ride right over this curb real quick to get to where these people are at, because they live down this like unpaved road right here. But yeah, so I would just say 100% that you know what you ordered and you didn't put any directions on what to do. So if you don't like the fact that your stuff is left out there in the heat, then maybe you should leave directions to not leave it in the heat. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm trying to say. Don't leave directions to just leave it at the door. And don't say, hey, da-da-da-da. Because a lot of people out here don't want you to ring the doors, because I would say probably about 80% of the people I run across here, they have dogs. There's always big dogs, and they're always barking. So obviously it's super annoying to them, and they don't want to hear the dog. So they would prefer you to not ring the doorbell, even though they don't say, hey, could you not ring the doorbell? I just know the vibe. And if that's not the vibe, then it's your fault for not telling me to ring the doorbell. Like, I mean, at some point you gotta just take accountability, bro. It's not always the delivery guy's fault, 100%. 1461. Yeah. So, and with the person that, like me, that has a bunch of great ratings, I've never had one that said, hey, he left my food in the heat and didn't ring the doorbell. Went on a leave at the door, you know? For one, customer service is gonna tell them straight up, like, bro, if you didn't want it left, don't just put leave at the door, put notes. You can put notes in these things, you know what I'm saying? It's not the delivery driver's fault if you didn't put notes in there and they left it in heat. Like, I'm not sure how hot it is outside, but I'm pretty sure it's over 90 degrees. If I were to say it, it's probably about like 104 or something like that, if I were to just call it. But ain't my deal. It ain't my deal, bro. You know the weather like I do, bro. So if you don't want it left in the weather like that, you better say knock at the door or something. And and what's funny is about 40% of the people who say meet me, they don't really even mean meet me. They mean stand at the door while we ignore your phone calls and then tell you to leave it at the door. And you know, that's what they truly mean, which is weird. Which I feel like you should just leave a door and put notes in there or something, because I find it to be majorly inconsiderate to leave your delivery driver out there just chilling in the heat because you don't want to answer your phone, you don't want to answer messages, and you don't want to do anything until it's already been like 8 minutes now. It's just about to cancel your trip, and then you finally respond, bro. Like, come on, bro. Anyone who does that gets blocked. Just letting you know. And Instacart, you can click that they were rude, in which I find that to be rude, and you could block them, which is crazy. I didn't know you could block anybody until I found out that you could block somebody. But yeah, what do you guys think down below, bro? Make sure you guys, if you got a little bit of value, make sure you guys hit that subscribe. I appreciate you, every single one of you guys. We are growing lightning fast, guys. And yeah, do you live in your car? Answer that question for me. Type it down below. What? Oh my gosh. Did you hear someone honk at me? There's a middle lane and this lady honked at me like I'm not even in. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. She scared me. 2142, that's not it. This is it. 24. Oh my gosh. I'm about to turn around because there's a stupid address over here. Yeah, so she honked the horn for literally nothing. I don't know why she honked the horn. This is literally a middle lane that I cruised into, and she must have thought I was coming directly towards her or something, because she freaked out. It made my heart start beating, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I never know. Sometimes it could be my fault, but like, I'm like, right now, I'm like, why would you honk the horn? I'm literally like in my own lane. This is a yellow lane to where it's the middle. I can get in the middle just fine. Everybody does it. My gosh. Anyways, I appreciate you guys. You guys are amazing. All right. Peace.